Hey, you guys, this is Christina. I'm Christina with Leads and Leverage, and I'm here today with you, giving you another episode, number 62 of The Ribbit Show. I can't believe that I've done 62 of these, but I have. So I'm here with you today, giving you episode number 62 of The Ribbit Show, and I just realized that my mic is hidden behind my camera, not right in front of me. So welcome. Please let me know that you are here. Say hi, introduce yourself, like just tell me where you're popping in from. Let me know, just give me a comment and say, hey, I am so-and-so and I am here watching from wherever. Whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this in replay, doesn't matter. I love to know where you guys are from, what you're doing, etc. And while I'm waiting for you guys to respond, I'm actually putting this out to my groups and my members. I want to make sure everybody gets to join me. So let me pop all that in real quick, and I have to look around my mic to do that. So today I really want to talk to you about crafting that perfect first contact email. Now, here's the thing. This is kind of important. I know that as real estate agents, one of the ways that we generate leads, in fact, I think it's probably one of the probably the most focused ways that we generate leads online is through IDX registrations. And if you don't know what IDX is and you're a real estate agent, you need to find out. I know there's a lot of people talking about you don't need IDX, and IDX is basically, in a really brief way, it is the front-facing public version of your multiple listing service. So you pay for an IDX vendor that you can integrate with your MLS, and then all of your brokers agree what properties can be displayed and which ones cannot. So that's what IDX is. Excuse me. And you can put it on your website and you can use it for lead generation, things like that. So it's kind of a mutual agreement. So when you have IDX, a lot of people are like, well, I'm not going to require registration for my IDX because there's Zillow and there's Realtor.com out there. And the thing is that you're doing yourself a huge disservice because Zillow and Realtor.com are not accurate. They're delayed. And the information is not as accurate as your MLS. So anyway, and people still register. They register for good information. So this Ribbit episode, I am going to teach you and walk you through what you need in place to craft that perfect first contact email. And I actually did an in-depth training on this for my members. We walked through everything, and I actually do have a link to a registration. I have a link to a case study in the description for this video, so that you can use that case study. I forgot to put the link to the training article that I did, so let me go ahead and put that in the in the stuff for you here. Just put it in. So that'll be there so that you can actually, the link's there. It's about crafting the perfect first contact email. I'm going to kind of walk through that briefly. If you want an in-depth training, how-to and everything, that is inside the membership. You're welcome to join us. Love to have you. Make sure you guys comment. Let me know you're here. I see some of you guys popping in. Say hi. Let me know you're here. If you are one of my members, if you would please comment and please click like, that helps the video get out to people. That would be great. If you are inside the membership group or inside the Facebook for Real Estate Agents group, please click the video so you come over to the actual video. I'm actually hosting this on the Leads and Leverage Facebook page, so then I can see those comments. So Donna, you're on it. So I can see those comments on that page. I can't see your comments if you're commenting inside the group. So click the video and come on over, you guys. Awesome. Thanks so much. Okay, so crafting the perfect first contact email. And like I said, this email is specifically for your first automated email that goes out when users sign up via your IDX. So usually your IDX vendor sends this email and you can customize it to a certain extent. Obviously, there will be certain things that they need to include, disclaimers, things like that, but that's what this email is for. Now, disclaimer on this, if you can't control about 95% of what is said and how much is said in your first email right from your IDX provider, you need to rethink the provider that you're using. So if you go to the link to that article I just put in the comments, I actually have another thing that you could download. It is the 7 questions to ask an IDX provider before you commit. So it's a checklist and comparison template that I've created. And those 7 questions are kind of key and pivotal. So there are actually 2 main IDX providers out there that give you the most control. So you can go through that checklist, those 7 questions, and see if your IDX provider is giving you the control that you need. Remember, this is your business. Don't just take what you're given, make things happen for your business. And this is big because IDX registrations are a great way to get real estate leads, a great way. All right, so let's do this. So there are actually 4, like I call them S elements, but there are 4 main elements of a perfect first contact email. The first piece, this is so, I think sometimes we have a really hard time with this, but the first one is singular. Your email must have a singular focus. But what is that focus and what do I mean? The goal for this email is not to get the not to get the contract. It's not actually even to get a phone call, although you will on some people. Its only goal of this email is to get opened, get read, and get a reply. It's otherwise known as starting a relationship. Now, why is this your goal? I mean, why would that be? Why would you want to go for something so small? Because you want to make sure that all your emails get to this person. So this first email is really a way to establish deliverability with their email provider. Less than 70% of all emails actually reach their destination. Fewer than that actually reach the inbox. Most go to spam or the promotions folder. You want to send them an email that they are willing to open and respond to. So you're building your email reputation with their email provider. That's big. That's so you can get through other emails, and you're training them, the people, that what you have to offer is spot on and it's valuable. Looking at my notes. So it's worth their time to open your emails. That is what you're doing. And you want them to click a link or respond. So we're training their email service, their ISP, that, yeah, you're legit. And we're training them to go, yeah, they have value. I want to open, I want to click. Now, I know that a lot of times that's not what we're thinking as real estate agents, but see, this is the part of email marketing and getting out emails and why we don't have so much success with it as agents. So you need to focus. Your first focus is singular. Your goal is to get into their box, get them to open it, and get them to respond. That is your goal. Number 2, short. You must keep it short. What is short? No more than 5 sentences total. So why short? Because you don't have any relationship with this person. You have none. Like, they've looked at a house. They have no relationship with you. They don't know who you are. I don't care if they went to your website. They have no idea who you are. You've not given them any value or any reason to open and read your emails. Okay? So you need to start building that know, like, and trust relationship. And it starts with short, succinct emails. Easy for them to quickly digest. Like, you've got 8 seconds. That's less than a goldfish attention span. You've got 8 seconds and you want it fast and easy. They don't have to think. Okay? So number 1 was singular. Number 2 was short. Number 3, you need to keep it simple. Simple. This is not your opportunity to dump everything on them. You don't need to blatantly promote you or your services at all. You don't want to overwhelm them. You need to focus them. So your goal is to help keep them focused. You don't want to give them so much or more than one thing because they get distracted. So the simpler you keep it, the better. You want to kind of bring them along their customer journey. So remember, if you're doing singular and you're doing short and you keep it simple, you just keep them walking on the next logical step. Okay, so here's what we're doing usually when we send our emails. We don't even realize we're doing this, but this is what we are. We're thinking from a mindset of scarcity and lack. And I'm going to use this example. We need to start thinking from a mindset of abundance. here's what I mean. Emails that try to get all points in create the energy of desperation, and that energy is felt by the recipient. Here's an example that I used in the training with my members. Quote, I see you are looking for homes in XYZ, but if that area doesn't work, there's also ABC. And if you have a home to sell, you can do this. And if you aren't ready to sell, check out our property management. And if you just don't want to move, you can refer me because I heart referrals. And if referrals aren't your vibe, and so on and so forth. It's like we want to cover all bases just in case. Guys, this is bad. You don't want to do that because they stopped reading. They stopped reading after the first 5 words. They don't care. There's nothing in it for them. So you need to keep this very, very simple and think about their next logical step. And I'm going to tell you what that is. So number 4 is service. This is one of the 4 main elements, not an elephant. Elephants. You must come from a place of service, but not the service of, I can help you buy or sell. Don't give pretend service. You need to come from a place of service that makes progressive sense. So what do I mean? I mean that after they've logged into your IDX, what is their next logical step? The next logical conversation you should have with them? Here's a hint. It's not, what home do you want to see? That is not the next logical conversation. Think more micro. Your next logical conversation should be, how was your experience? Did the tech work? Did you run into any snags while using the portal? See, if you're coming from a place of service that's about them, your goal isn't initially, yes, of course, your goal is to get to the closing table, so all those steps. But there's a whole bunch of steps in between, let's go see a house and registering into your IDX. There's, okay, how did it work? Is it working for you? Can we get that set? How can we help you set up? Then you start asking details, and then you move on. But the next logical step is, how did this work for you? Did you get everything you needed? Whatever, like that's, how was your experience? Did the tech work? Did you run into any snags while using the IDX portal? That's the next logical conversation, but we think in such big steps. It's like big, huge jumping across rivers instead of stepping on the stones on the way. So, all right, so what do you include in your first contact email? So I'm going to give you 4 things that you should include, and 5 things you should not include. Okay, so 4 things you need to include in your first contact email. You need to use their first name in your email. So if they give you their first name when they register, make sure that that email is set up to code in their first name. You need their first name. You need a clean signature. And what do I mean by a clean signature? I mean, you need it to be short and concise. You need to use your name and brokerage or team name only. You don't need to use your whole flippin' business card, guys. They have your dang email. They know how to reach you. So I mean something like Christina, SKE Realty Group LLC. Like, that's it. Your name, their brokerage thing. That's it. Super simple. You want this delivered into their email inbox. You don't want them overwhelmed with crap. So you want to keep it simple. And you need, this is number 3, you need a PS, a postscript. You want a short, succinct PS that is the call to action from the main body of your email, worded slightly differently. I'll get into that in a minute. Actually, I get into that in the case study. You can download the case study. It's a PDF. I show you exactly what I mean in that. So just go ahead and go to that link to the article. You can download the case study. Or the case study might actually be above in the video. I put the link up there. So, and then number 4, you need a footer. This needs to include your brokerage, your legal disclaimer, whatever, but without links and in a slightly smaller font, and it needs to be at least 10 line spaces below your postscript. And it needs to include your 1-click unsubscribe. That is required by law. These are automated emails that are going out when people register. You have to give them the opportunity to unsubscribe without hitting reply. Just 1-click unsubscribe. And you have to include your brokerage, your address, probably your IDX legal disclaimer, all that stuff. It all needs to be there. Don't put links in it, guys. We're trying to get into the email inbox, so we're going to do what's required, and that's all by law for that footer. So what not to include? in your first contact email. There are actually 5 things you should not include. This is your very first email. Remember, if you're coming in late on this, go back to the beginning and watch the whole thing. I describe exactly what this email is for, who it's for, and where it's going, or how it's going to be sent, how and when it's going to be sent. So these are the 5 things not to include in your first contact email. Number 1, your story. This email is not about you. It is about them. They don't care about you at all. They don't. They don't care about you until they know you care. And you cannot use words to show that you care. You have to use actions. So you don't talk about you at all. This is not about you. Not I'm here to help you. None of that crap. Just help them. Like I said, so the first 4 things I talked about, and again, you can download the case study. I completely rewrite an email. That email has been rewritten for several of our members, but one of our members specifically has been getting responses, like responses she's never gotten before from that first email. Super awesome. It's changed her deliverability and engagement with her registrations. So don't include your story. Number 2, don't include a safety net. I described this before. Don't be so focused on scarcity that you try to grab all the possible ways they could use your services. Don't. You'll lose all of them. You will lose them, guys. That is not a way to try and grab everybody or to get everybody or every possible means. It's actually a way to lose everybody. So don't include a safety net. Don't include multiple calls to action. When you have more than one call to action, you confuse them. Remember, we want to bring clarity and convenience to them. We want to make it insanely easy, like almost a boom, they've replied before they even know it. So don't overwhelm them. If you have more than one call to action, you will lose them. It's too overwhelming. Don't include multiple links. Not only is this a confuse, overwhelm issue for the reader, it's also a deliverability issue. If you have more than one link in your email, your deliverability drops, like getting into people's email boxes. So if you've got that email signature with links to your Facebook and your Instagram and your LinkedIn and your Twitter, and here you can go here and here you go there, you're killing your deliverability, your email deliverability. Do not put that in your bulk emails, in your automated emails at all. Don't. The only place that should be is when you're doing one-on-one emails with people and you've already gotten into their email inbox and they're already responding. That's all. So don't include multiple links. Number 5 is no logos or images, guys. This is an email deliverability issue. Additionally, it's a wrong focus here. We're not focusing on branding or exposure. We're focusing on converting into a relationship. So just remember that. Logos do nothing to build a relationship. Nothing. They do nothing to build a relationship. So we're focusing on converting someone into a relationship. That's what we're focusing on. So no logos or images. So always remember, your goal in your first contact email is to get into their inbox and get opened and get replied. That is your goal. It is a bonus if you're able to start a conversation. That is a major bonus. But if you can get into their inbox, get opened, and get replied, huge. You are well on your way. They've given you permission to kind of start a relationship with them. So this is good. This is good. So there's a few of you on here. I'm not going to describe anything, but I'm going to run through this really quick. So we were talking about crafting the perfect first contact email, specifically the email that is sent out usually directly by your IDX when somebody registers in your IDX. So there were 4 main elements of a perfect first contact email: singular, short, simple, service. Those are the 4 main elements, and I go through them in detail in the video that you just now, and you can click the links. I actually have a training article for you guys. What to include in your first contact email? 4 things to include: their first name, your clean signature, a PS, and a footer. What not to include in your perfect first contact email? 5 main things: your story, a safety net, multiple calls to action, multiple links, logos or images. So if you guys have any questions, I will hang on for another, I don't know, 10 seconds, 20 seconds so I can see your questions. If you have questions, go ahead and ask them. I'll answer them. Otherwise, I put all the links here for the training article, for the case study, for the Facebook page setup checklist. This is all available for you to do this. If you want more in-depth training, I actually did an in-depth training with my members, and we walked through everything and rewrote emails and got them going, and now they're getting responses. So let me know. So if you have questions, I'll wait another 5 to 7 seconds to make sure that I'm not missing anybody, because there's a little delay. So let me know. Ask your questions. If you're watching this in replay, go ahead and ask your questions. I can do another Ribbit episode for you. You can also ask your questions over on the training article. The link is in the comments. You can ask the questions. That's over on my blog, so you can ask the questions there as well. Either place, either way you want to. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me on episode 62 of The Ribbit Show, Crafting the Perfect First Contact Email. I will see you guys probably next week. I'm going to be in Toronto next week, and I'm going to probably do some quick little live streaming episodes, not Ribbit shows, but live streamings of some people that I meet there, because I think they've got some stuff that you guys could really use and leverage. So I will see you guys sometime next week, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend this weekend. Talk to you later. Submit your questions for me so that I can answer them on Ribbit Show episodes. Have a great day.